I'm left-handed, and the only D I got in elementary school was from a teacher who believed that that was wrong and made me write with my right hand, which meant my penmanship, which wasn't as good, and gave me a D. I'm still left-handed, so it didn't work. The elementary school that I went to at that time in Washington, D.C. was all African American. It was a neighborhood school. The teachers were African American, and it was really nice to be in a place where I now understand it was just safe. You know, teachers, it was a safe environment to be in. I feel very lucky that that was how I had my first introduction to formal education. I can vividly remember playing school by myself, where I would set up dolls and stuffed animals and have a blackboard and teach them. So that's kind of foreboding. When I was in the 4th grade, my dad moved the family to Massachusetts. He was in school. The National Security Agency had funded him to get a master's in public administration at Harvard, so we all moved there. And that's the first time I went to school with all Caucasians. The only African American students in the entire elementary school would have been my sister and myself. First time I was called the N-word and didn't know what it was, and that got resolved through my parents. Middle school was different, I'll just say that. It was a tough time for me. I was a bit socially awkward, I had braces. It was an interesting time. So I ended up choosing not to go to the same high school as a lot of my middle school peers. I ended up going to another high school. And they gave us the choice of either going to a private school or a public school for high school. So I chose to go to Immaculata Prep School. So to get there, I had to take 2 buses. I mean, I clearly really wanted to go there. It's all girls, Catholic. We're not Catholic. But it was a really good school. It's one of the better schools in Washington, D.C. But I chose to go to Dartmouth College because I now reflect. The ratio of boys to girls was 8-to-1, 8 boys for every girl. And having gone to an all-girls high school, I felt that I needed to experience the reverse situation. And it was also, honestly, probably the most rigorous school I got into academically. And I majored in history, but I also was interested in spatial planning, and so I earned a certificate at that time in urban planning. And I only got it, I applied to Berkeley, Harvard, and Michigan. And I only got into Michigan. So I was here for urban planning, and I enjoyed the program. It was really just what I wanted, the right mix of architecture and planning. About midway through the first year, a professor, African-American professor, said to me, you know, I think you would be well served to get a second degree, a second master's degree in public policy. So I did that. I ended up being here for 3 years and coming out with both degrees. That degree, I graduated in 1982, and that was the degree that got me my first job. And I ended up doing public policy in New York City. During that time, into our 3rd year, Greg proposed. I've never been an urban planner, and I regret that, because that's really what I wanted to do. But I did work in the policy realm for many, many years in New York, and then New Jersey, and then California. I had been in public service. I had worked in pretty high positions in New York City, in New Jersey, in California. We decided to buy a franchise. And so I ended up managing that for a while, didn't really like it. And a good friend said to me, who was teaching at Community, Kathy Heder, said, you should think about teaching. And I realized I could, without too much additional training, teach high school social studies. I was the kind of social studies teacher that really wanted students to understand all voices are welcome. So that if I'm teaching government or U.S. history, every student felt comfortable voicing their opinion, their perspective. I think a lot of it, making conscious decisions about content balanced content. Um, Meeting people where they are. I don't know that I thought about it as something I did purposefully, but it was more being kind to every student and having high expectations for every student. I really hope more teachers do that, because I think that's what students deserve, a safe place. I wish we could just have the first reaction when you meet someone is one of love, right? Instead of whatever else, I'm trying to live in that space too.